Okay, so real quick, today I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened in my life maybe 10 years ago. Actually, I could figure this out. I'll look it up. January of 2010. Holy shit. Okay, so there's a major turning point in my life. It was a small occurrence, but I considered a major turning point. And this is a lesson I learned, and I hope that I can kind of pass it along to other people, younger people. Um, so I used to have a big problem where um, I didn't want to say no to people, and it's not that I like specifically was afraid to say no, but it's a lot easier to say yes and like in a way like please people. So there's times when people ask me to do stuff. They're like, "Hey, you want to go do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that sounds cool." And oh, do you want to come to this party? Oh, yeah, yeah, that sounds cool. And do you want? Can you help me with this? Yeah, sure, sure, of course, I'll be there. And it's very easy to say yes to those things. But when it comes time to follow through, you kind of realize that you didn't really want to help them, or or you didn't want to go, or it's kind of a pain in the ass. And you're like, and then I would always wait the last minute, and then just kind of like back out of it, or like they'd be like, "Hey, you on your way?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm running a little bit late. I'll be there in like an hour or so." And then eventually it gets to the point where it's like, dude, he's not coming. And so I had a bad, I made it a bad habit of doing that. What happened was this is how I know what date it was. This is a Book of Eli was coming out, and there was like, there was a sneak preview, and I had two friends who had gotten sneak preview tickets and was like, "Hey, do you want to go with us?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, yeah, that sounds good." And I probably wasn't really that interested, but I just said yes because it's easier to say yes. And so what ended up happening is that they were at the Alamo Draft House. This is before they got remodeled and everything. This is the old Alamo Draft House. And I remember, for some reason, I don't know why, but I decided to go that day. Like, I decided not to flake out. And I showed up at the theater, and when I got there, all my friends were not there, and I didn't have a ticket. And I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Why? Where are they? And where's my ticket? How am I going to get in?" I forget how I actually got in. I probably, asked the manager or the theater staff if I could just go look for my friends or whatever, or they just let me in, or maybe they left a ticket at will call for me, and they just said, "Here's your ticket." And I remember walking into the theater, and it was still lights were still on, and the movie hadn't started yet. And I remember walking up and looking for my friends, and I saw them, and they were all sitting there having a great time, laughing and talking to each other. And I walked up there, and all the seats were taken, so I couldn't even sit with them. And I just remember being really upset, and I was in the theater, and I was like, "What the fuck, guys? Like, I was waiting outside for you guys." And I remember my friend, they were a couple, and my friend, she was like, "Well, David, you don't usually show up to these things, so it's your own fault." Maybe she didn't say it's your own fault, but she said, "You don't usually come to these things, so we just assumed that you weren't coming." And I remember being really pissed off, and I took my ticket or whatever, and I sat by myself on the side. And the movie I ended up not enjoying because I was like in this brooding mood. And there was part of me that was like, "You know what? Fuck these guys. I'm not gonna hang out with them anymore, and I'm not gonna be friends with them. That's really shitty what they did." And I don't know why I took it the way I did, but instead of going that route, I kind of looked at myself and was like, "Well, to be honest, there's a reason why they treated me this way, right?" I gave them the impression that I wasn't always going to come. I created this image of myself. It really, really sucks that they see me this way, but like, I can either take my ball and go home and say, "Screw these guys, I'm not hanging out with them," and I'll find some friends that don't see me this way. Or I could work very hard and do everything I can to change my reputation and make it so that I'm a guy that people see as a stand-up guy, and if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. Um, yeah, and so that's kind of, it sucks because it also takes a lot of effort to change that image of yourself, because people are always going to see you as that way, at least for the near future. And if you even make one tiny mistake, they're going to go, oh, see, there he is. There's David being David again. He's flaking out again. So I really made it a conscious decision from then on to really try. And the point is not that you can't like say no to things. You can say, you don't have to go to everything, but the point is to be very clear from the beginning or as soon as possible. Like, look, if you're not interested in going, just say no. Don't say yes up to the last minute and then, say no at the last minute. Because that when you tell them up front, when you're honest from the beginning, maybe they're disappointed that you're not going to go, but it's better than canceling on them in the last minute. And that's kind of what I learned. To be truthful, I kind of canceled on somebody today, and I should have canceled a little bit earlier. I had a feeling that I wasn't going to be able to go. I wanted to go, and it was planned, but I had some employees quit on me recently, so I'm stuck working double shifts until I find somebody else. There was still part of me that could have gone and could have found a way, maybe, if I could have like bought plane tickets, but I kind of dragged my feet on it, and it's my fault. So yeah, sorry, Brian. I mean, I take responsibility. I probably could have told you earlier this week that it wasn't looking so good, but instead I canceled on you this morning, and I kind of feel bad about it, And it's not that you just apologize and feel bad about it. It's the fact that you need to do I need to do better for next time and not be in a situation like this again. So, I mean, yeah, I've already talked to him already, and he said it's fine. But again, it's not the kind of reputation that I want to have for myself anymore. And yeah, I was kind of reminded about it this morning. Yeah, and me talking about it. Hopefully, you guys. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a constant process, right? It's not like change in people is not like a switch where you just kind of like, oh, well, I'm not going to smoke anymore, or I'm not going to be a procrastinator, or I'm not going to do this, and then you just flip the switch, and then you never have a problem anymore. It's always going to be a constant working at it and working at it and working at it, and sometimes maybe you slip up and you say, okay, hey, I slipped up, need to get back on track, need to get back on, being that kind of person that I want to be. So yeah, I thought maybe me sharing it with you guys could, first of all, get it off my chest and, admit to me making a mistake or me not being happy with the way I handled it. But also, let you guys know that it's okay to, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be a certain way. And it's just up to you how you want to handle that. Do you want to be the person that says, fuck these guys, I'm taking my ball, I'm going home. If they can't trust me or if they don't see me in a positive light, then screw them anyways. They don't deserve my friendship. Or is it like, hey, I look at it, it's like, look, yeah, I made some mistakes here and there. This is how I can tighten it up. This is how I can get better. And you know what? I'm going to do everything I can to change that. It's a balance. You're going to have to figure that for yourself, which friends are worth it and which friends are not. But yeah, so thanks for listening. I hope thanks for listening. Bye.